Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I've seen most of the participants, they have joined the session. Great. Thank you for joining on time. So we'll start the session in a moment. Please bear with me so that, other participants, they are also joining. Let's wait for 1 minute and then probably we'll start. So today will be an interesting session for you all. Yep. So any query, any sort of issues, we will be taking care, no worries, and we will be reverting all the answers also. No worries, you can just mail us, and after the session, we will provide you all the resources, the useful mail IDs on which you can raise or you can send your queries to us. So do not worry, I'm just giving you the advice, concentrate or focus towards the today's session because it will be an interesting for you today because we will be guiding all the Microsoft tools and technologies or the resources that we have for the special children's. Yeah. Okay, so let us start the today's session here. So thank you to Microsoft and CBSE because in collaboration with both, we as a partner, Cyberdiction Technologies, are going to conduct this session. And we are a global training partner. So that is why we are just conducting this session for you all. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Neeti here, and I am Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. I'm certified professional, certified trainer as well, and I am a global mentor Minecraft. So few of the Twitter handle are also given. So after the session, we will be providing you the e-certificate for the same, right? Once you will get that, you may post it on the social sites or the social websites, right? So these are the Twitter handles that's mentioned. You may mark. And today's session, it's all about the accessibility and special education, supporting equity in remote learning environment. So the very first is, or before starting the session, I would rather start with that children of today have been surrounded by digital technology since their birth, right? And schools and education of children, they should undergo an extensive digital transformation to be able to meet the needs of young generation and their digitalized future. So we have already seen that the COVID-19 pandemic has suddenly forced schools and education indeed to engage in such a transformation. And now we are already, or you can say we should understand that how important the digital transformation is, as well as also allow them to shape the education we offer in this context. But we should also aim at influencing the basic education of the young generation for the purpose of equipping them with important skills and competencies for their digital futures, but also for the purpose of arousing their interest in this important field. Because obviously the tools, unnecessary, n number of tools are, or you can say necessary and n number of tools are available, but how effectively you can use it. So that is basically important for all of us to understand. And slowly and gradually, I will be taking you through all these tools one by one. And we know that all the students are equally important for the educator, correct? Whether they are facing certain challenges, or maybe students are special in needs, or maybe like, they have certain issues or the problems, but the teachers or the educators are there just to take care. Now, empowerment begins with inclusion. And for educators, diversity demands they provide inclusive, accessible learning environments that inspire the confidence and encourage independence. Correct. So if we talk about the building a foundation for future success, So first is students grow their potential and gain independence. Second, teachers are more empowered to engage every learner, and schools build reputation as positive places that promote equity and inclusion. Okay. Now, promoting independent learning. So first of all, if we talk about promoting an independent learning, what does it mean? So now we all know that everybody is proficient, or maybe everybody is now aware of all the technologies or the tools, because the situation they or from that particular situation we have learned that how important it is. Correct. Now accessible technologies help students with disabilities unlock their full potential by addressing a diversity of needs. The one is the learning, who has dyslexia problem, or for the other problem like visual, who have like low vision or the blind color blindness problem, hearing, like who are deaf, right, mobility, neurodiversity, mental health. And if we just talk about the accessibility features for every classroom, so there is a link, we will be providing this link to you all, don't worry, and you can just go through. Fine. Now, today's agenda is all about how to create the accessible content, inclusive reading, writing, inclusive math, communication, inclusive apps, and then obviously we will close the session. So we'll learn how to create a more inclusive learning environment through consideration of each accessibility principle. Now let's explore how specific Microsoft tools promote accessibility for each foundational concept. Correct. So first is inclusive learning experience and environment are different for every student, that we all know. Now, to build an accessible learning experience, first of all, educators must be aware of the barriers to access and the variety of solutions available. Fine. Because while some learners, they have recognized the learning differences, others may quietly struggle. So from this, we will learn, or you can say just to create a lens to consider accessibility as a foundational approach to crafting the learning experience, where we will also explore how we can connect the or you can say create a connected learning experience that bridges the learning with the home and community, cultivate the lifelong skills that foster greater independence, how to build the system and structures that reduce the barriers to learning and aid learners with organization, and build a foundation for personalized learning experience with appropriate hardware. That is also important, because most of us, we find, a number of challenges that, I mean, some educators are able to do it on their machine, but some of us, we are not able to do it. Why so? Because hardware is also, or you can say, equally important with the software as well. Correct. And assess timely data to select meaningful interventions. So let's talk about the inclusive learning experiences and how to create a connected learning experience first. That is also important to understand, because when designing a connected learning experiences, there are leverage or several tools that fosters the communication, collaboration, access to multimodal content across devices. And fostering a connected learning experience supports the learner relationship with what? Home and school, school and community, peers, educators, learning content, and all these stuff. Now, basically, there are how many principle, or you can say the four foundation pillars of education. What are these? First is reading, second is writing, then the math and communication. Fine. So all these four, or you can say the principles of inclusive design, Microsoft has applied these to the four foundation pillars of education. Fine. So we will talk about all these four pillars. First is what all tools available for reading, those who are having the problem with reading. Fine. What all the Microsoft tools are available for, like, those who are having the challenges with writing? So those who are very bad in, writing, but still they need to submit that particular, assignment to the teacher. So how the teacher will basically take it, and teacher will understand the writing or maybe the assignments submitted by these type of students, those who are like not comfortable in, or not you can say good in writing. Then the third one is math. How effectively, like, the math tools are available, and the communication. Correct. Now, creating accessible content. The first is accessibility checker. It is there, right? Which provides you the alternative text. So in case like there are few I mean, like, those who are not, or those who are blind, those who are not able to get that particular image. Fine. So you can provide the alternative text to that, reading order, slide titles, so that they can listen properly, header rows, text contrast. So what all, like, it's given there with the help of accessibility checker. Let's see. The first is the exclusive, you can say, the reading here, where Microsoft Hackathon 2015 winner like extends the OneNote to improve learning outcomes for student. Let's say there is a document, right? And few students, they would not be able to listen properly. So in that case, what we have a very good feature that we called it as a immersive reader, which is a game changer, you can say. I'm going to play one video here, so let's watch.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes.
Well, they knew how to read, and I didn't.
I will never be good at reading. I will probably be held back again.
It highlights the words to know where I am.
When it's reading, I see spaces between the words, and it's easy to focus on.
The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself.
I was very proud of myself.
Good job, Joey.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
So there are different types of, the tools are available that we have, and we can probably watch, or you can say that these tools are available. Fine. So let us continue with that. So I'll just show you few of the tools that we have. I have opened the OneNote application here. And OneNote application, it's available in Windows 10 here. You can search for OneNote if you just write. So the OneNote application is available. You can open it like OneNote for Windows 10, or if it's already installed the M365, you are using that particular application, then you can open the application here, that is OneNote, right? So similarly, like if you see, I have already opened it, and this is a notebook that I have already created where I have different sheets and the pages, right? So now let's see, we have different tasks that it's available, like in the draw. Like if students, they are not good in writing, or you can say that good in designing, maybe you can say. Fine. So what they do, we have a good feature here that we call it as a ink to shape. So you need to just enable this feature, which automatically convert your ink drawings to shape. So let's say I am going to select this, and I'm going to, create a shape here, and that was not good enough, or you can say like one is square. Fine. And similarly, you have different shapes. So you see that all these shapes are automatically converted, right? One good feature that we have, ink to math, which obviously convert your handwritten mathematical expressions to text. Let's say if I click on this option, fine, you will see the window here, insert ink equation. So let me just expand it. And if you can write a simple equation like x square or plus square, you may clear it also if it's not properly written. Correct? X square plus you can write y square equals to 2xy. It's fine. So if you're not good enough like in that particular simple in handwriting, so it will automatically recognize. So one feature is this that you can use. Another is like ink to text. Let's say if you are writing, maybe I'm going to select it again. So yeah, so I'm going to select this draw with touch and I'm going to write photo. So this is a process. Yeah, so here I have enabled ink to shape. So that is why I'm getting this. So I can just undo. Okay. And I can simply click on it. So what you see that this particular handwritten, I mean the writing that you have just written one particular syntax, or you can say the text here. Correct. So that is also possible that you have this feature here. Fine. And you will use this feature that says ink to text, which will convert your bad handwriting into a good handwriting, or you can say that ink to text, so that teacher will easily understand that you know what you have written. Isn't it amazing that if you have a tool and if you're using this option or the feature like draw with touch, and if he is writing something using a pen or maybe any other particular stylus, and if he is writing the whole paragraph and he is not good in writing, so the way he can just write it, and automatically after that using this feature that is ink to text, it will convert your handwriting to a meaningful text, so that I mean all the educators they can check properly. Fine, usually they can use this feature and they can check and they can give the remarks. Correct. So this feature it's available in OneNote. Another feature we have here, like if we just talk about the translate feature, it's also there in the OneNote itself. If I have just opened this OneNote and if I want to enable or if I want to use most of the features here, let's say I have written the whole paragraph, or maybe you can say you can go to that particular insert or review. So there is a translate feature. So if you want to translate, this particular content or the paragraph that you have written into any other language, correct? So that is also possible. So you can translate the selected text into a different language. So you can just select this. Okay, and then after that I mean there is a lasso select also, you can select in that particular sense or in any other order. Fine, so this way you can select, and then after that you can go to this review and there is an option of translate selected text, so you can proceed with that and then click on yes, so that in which language you want to translate, maybe in French or maybe in any other language like Hindi, you can easily select it. Okay, now you see that it's been translated, and then you can insert like Prakash Sansleshan ek prakriya hai. Correct. So this is like, it's been translated, and if you want to insert it, like, here itself, you can also insert. So this way you can use this feature and it can be translated into multiple other languages as well, like English, Chinese, Dutch, Italian, Spanish, or maybe any other languages. Now, Microsoft Learning Tools availability. So Learning Tools is available across a wide variety of applications that you see here in the table. Fine. So I'll just show you one by one that here we have a read aloud and a word line highlighting. So read aloud feature, it's also available in the Microsoft Edge as well. Let's say if you are explaining let's say if you're explaining like the whole chapter in a class, correct, and you want a read aloud feature, maybe you have opened a PDF document, okay, the CBSE like the book here itself, and you want that computer should read for you. So what you can do, obviously all your PDF document, it gets opened where? Onto a browser itself, correct? So it's better that if you use Microsoft Edge, because you will come across with very less ads there, basically the third party ads. And when, like, you have just opened this document, there is a feature of read aloud. So what you can do, you can just simply right click on it also, or maybe, because by default, if you see that close read aloud feature or continue to read aloud, right? That I've already opened it. So if you just close it, so you will not be able to find it. But if you just right click on it, and then you have an option of read aloud. And when you click on
Ernst
it,
Mayr,
you see,
1904-2004.
okay, so
2021 à 22.
that computer is
A
reading.
wonderful
So
is the
if you
living
want,
world.
or maybe you want to
The
change the
wide range
language,
of
you can just pause in between. You can change the voice option. You can choose a voice here. Fine. So you need to use like maybe the English India here. Correct. And now if you play.
How wonderful is the living world? The wide range of living types is amazing.
So you
The
can pause in between, and then you can explain maybe like, to the students, and it will also help to those type of students, those who would not be able to see properly, those who are like finding, few challenges in terms of like, reading the paragraph, so they can listen well, fine, first, and then whatever the teacher is explaining, then they can easily understand. So that is again a good part, that we have a feature here that is read aloud, and it's a good feature there in the Microsoft Edge that we can use. And probably if you just, use the Bing search engine, right, in the Microsoft Edge itself, you will find that there are few hints that is also available. If you just scroll down, there is a feature of like, the step by step, the read aloud or the immersive reader.
Photosynthesis.
So fine, so it will read the particular pronunciation of this photosynthesis word, right? So that is also possible, so you can use it. Similarly, apart from that, we have a good feature here that we called it as a spacing and font size, page color. What are these? These are the feature that is there in the immersive reader, right? So I'll just show you like, the concept of the immersive reader here. Let's say I have opened Microsoft Teams, because most of the schools nowadays, we are using this platform for teaching. Yeah. So in this Microsoft Teams, I can open, or I have entered like, in this particular class, where exactly, let me just open any of the class, let's say the class first. Okay, so I can just open it, and here what I can do, I can add the OneNote. I can integrate the OneNote within this Microsoft Teams itself. Correct. So that is the best part, that instead of switching to the OneNote, right, we can easily add this one notebook here itself. I can click on save button. So it will set up a new tab here. Okay. Now you see that maybe you are teaching something. So there is a one paragraph. Let's say I'm going to add one paragraph here related to the photosynthesis. So let me just open it. I'll copy the content. Yeah, so let's say I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it there in the OneNote itself. So what I have a feature of immersive reader. So when I click on this view tab here, we have the feature of immersive reader. So like, if you want that it should read, I mean the computer should read this entire paragraph, fine. So you can use this option, immersive reader. A new window will get open. Now you see that there are different settings, fine, or maybe the very first setting that you can make, that is adjust voice setting, which is obviously very important. Correct. So you can simply click on it. You can increase or decrease the voice speed, the voice selection. Fine, female or male. Some are comfortable with the female voice or the male voice. You can do that. You can simply click on the play button.
Photosynthesis is a process by which phototrophs convert light energy
It
into...
seems that, I mean, this voice speed is too fast. So you can basically decrease and
chemical energy, which is later used to fuel cellular activity.
Correct. So this feature, it's also available now. Somehow some students, they are facing challenges, with reading the entire or not reading exactly. I mean, this paragraph, it's not clearly visible, like, to the student due to color blindness, or maybe they are comfortable with other color code and all those stuff. So what we can do, there is a theme. So if you want to change to any other theme, it is also possible. Like, some are comfortable with the dark theme, some are comfortable with this like the sepia theme or the yellow theme. So this way you can select, and then they can easily read the context. Okay. Now, similarly, we have the increase spacing also. So let's say by default it is off. You see that, there is a very less space in between these words or the alphabets, right? So what you can do, you can increase the spacing as well as you can increase the text size also. Correct. So these features are also available. You can easily do that. And one more option, we have the grammar option. So if you want, like, just to show the labels, so like what all nouns or the verbs or the adjective, that is also there. Some are like, some students, they are, weak in understanding the paragraph or you can say the word. So some words are really very complex for them to understand, and or they would not be able to recall, they would not be able to memorize. So what they need to do in that case? Fine. So then the picture dictionary will come into the picture, so that they can easily recall if they can visualize it. Correct. So let's say it is already enabled. Correct. Picture dictionary, it's on. So what I can do, I can simply click on energy. Then yes, that particular student can easily recall, okay, that was the word, that is the energy, and it is specifically meant for this. Correct. Then water. Yeah, so water, it's this, like, simply we have the carbon or the dioxide or the cellular or the chemical energy. Similarly, we have a few other different words like the light. Okay, so this way they can easily learn. And the entire paragraph, if they are comfortable, because some students, they are comfortable in Hindi, obviously, because like, they have the paragraph in front of them, they are easily able to read it out. But when it comes to, like, just to understand the entire paragraph, what exactly it is, so in that case, they can easily first understand, they can understand in Hindi language if they are comfortable in Hindi. So you can select the translate language as Hindi. So how you would like to translate? By word. So word by word you want to translate it, or maybe you want to translate the entire document. Now you see, you have the two documents in front of you. One is the original and another one is in the Hindi, so that they can just read out the paragraph in Hindi first. Fine, they will understand that, okay, this particular, it's all about, like, the prakash संश्लेषण एक प्रक्रिया है जिसके द्वारा this, and then they can switch to the original paragraph or the content, like, from their book which they have taken, and now he can easily understand, he can easily correlate. Correct. So that is also like, be helpful for them. And at times, that when computer is reading, so sometimes students, they lose their focus, or maybe they lose their interest, like where exactly the computer is reading, isn't it? So just for that, even if you want that the computer should read this paragraph in Hindi, so that is also possible. So what I can do, I have just selected this line focus, so that it will not divert, like, the mind of that particular student where exactly the computer is reading. Fine, so that he can put more focus, he can concentrate. And then when you click on this play button, okay.
प्रकाश संश्लेषण एक प्रक्रिया है जिसके द्वारा फोटोट्रोफ प्रकाश ऊर्जा को रासायनिक ऊर्जा में
So this way you can easily correlate where exactly, like on which paragraph you are, or maybe like your computer is on which paragraph he is reading, and then you can easily correlate. So this is again a good feature that we have, and we call it as a immersive reader. Correct. So that's why I have just shown you the read aloud, the spacing and font size, page color, syllables. So it's available in OneNote. It's available in the Word, Microsoft Word also. It's available in the Outlook as well. It's available in the Flipgrid, Office, Edge browser, which I have already shown few of the application. So yeah, I will also be showing like how to use the Office Lens as well. So do not worry. And in the Word, the Outlook that I've already shown. So similarly, the parts of speech, translation, picture dictionary, dictation. So there is a good feature that we have, and we call it as a dictate feature. Fine. So you can use the dictate feature as well. So let's say if you are there in the Microsoft Home, and if you open a Word application, correct? So let's say I have opened a new blank document. So once that document it gets opened, you have a feature of the dictate, correct? So there are two things. One is like, speech to text. And you must be able to see that, it is also giving me some predictions, because some students, they are not good in spellings. That is also important, just to make them understand that no need to worry, bacha, because when you type, it will also give you some predictions, so that you can just check your spellings, whether you are typing correctly or not, because this type of feature, it's there in our mobile, so that they can easily type and they can easily write the content or the paragraph. Okay, so let's say I'm going to write like speech to text feature, it's there, and we have another feature, we call it as a text to speech. So when it comes to speech to text, so obviously, or maybe text to speech, so that is how we have seen with the help of immersive reader. And when it comes to the like speech to text, so then it comes to dictate. So means whatever you are speaking, so it will type the content for you. You can just enable it. You can allow the microphone here, because this microphone it's already been shared with you. So you can just allow it, and then you will see that it will basically type the content for you. You can just start the dictation. You can enable it. Okay, so you see that whatever I am explaining, it is typing. Isn't it easy for us? So that's why we have these two Microsoft, the features we have, and it's there in the Microsoft Word. It's there in the PowerPoint as well. It's there in other like OneNote as well. Fine, in other applications. And I mean, it's easy to remember, because this chart which I have already shown to you. Fine, so I will be sharing this link also, the learning tools flyer. So you can just go to that particular link where you will be finding this particular chart. Okay, so yes, if I just come back to this particular document, now you see that it is still typing the entire content for me. So why it is important? Why it is important, basically, because I'll just tell you why it is important here. It is important, when students would not be able to keep it in their memory for a longer period, for a longer duration, because anyhow at time he may lose, or he may, like you can say that, or maybe he want to recall, what teacher has explained in the class. So he just want to correlate each and everything with the diagrams, with the text, or with the voice of the teacher, so anything. So in that case, this will also help all the students just to memorize. Okay, so where else can we find immersive reader? That is also important to understand, because I mean, these immersive reader, or this immersive reader that we have just seen, it's available in different other application. The very first is Minecraft. So Minecraft is the gaming based education edition. Fine. So most of the schools we are using, or schools are using this tool, that is the Minecraft. that is specifically available for teaching. Again, like, different subjects in an interactive manner. Fine. So you have this particular feature, that is the immersive reader, so that it will read the entire paragraph or the content. Second, immersive reader, it's again feature it's available, which I have shown just shown to all of you just now. Like, it's available in the OneNote, it's available in the Word or the maybe MS Office. Okay. If I just click on next, I have just shown this picture dictionary. It's also available in the Microsoft Forms, correct? Because at times when you have given like, such type of activity to the students just to perform, or maybe like, some practice quiz or maybe question answers that you have given to the students. Fine. So, or maybe like, English teacher, she has given one particular paragraph to read out, and based on that paragraph, he has to attempt, or maybe student has to attempt, few questions. So obviously, when there is a problem in understanding this particular paragraph, so what he can use the feature of immersive reader. So computer will read the entire paragraph for the student. He will understand first, and after that then he would be easily able to attempt all the, or he will be easily able to give all the answers of the questions, correct? Like, close the reader to input your answer. So when he click on this immersive reader, a new window will get open, and after that, like, what's the main idea of the story? It is of one point, then he would be able to listen all these like, three options. Then you can close the reader to input your answer. So accordingly you can input the correct answer. I mean, student can input. Next is immersive reader, or also it's also available for third party like cognitive services. So most of, like, the schools, they are now using this AI, artificial intelligence feature, or maybe like, the other services like text to speech or speech to text if they are working on the project. So obviously there are few cognitive services it's available on the Azure platform. So there also we have this immersive reader. Okay. For the dyslexia, like, students, or maybe there is a awareness, or like the whole curriculum, it's available. Fine. And if you just use this MEC made by dyslexia, this link will also be sharing with you all, do not worry. So there are a few resources. You can start this course in Microsoft Learn, right? Education, because when you open this education.microsoft.com, okay, when you open it, so you can open the education center from here, the learning center, you can open it. Okay, and then you can search for that particular course. So it will just show you all the courses here, the product guides, the highlighted educator programs and everything. You can search for this course, which I have just opened it, Dyslexia Awareness Part 1 in partnership with Made by Dyslexia. So I mean, all the students or the educators, if they want, they can just go through this particular course. There are different parts available, Part 1, Part 2. Fine. So once you will complete, the duration of this course is like of 1 hour, and who all are the contributors, the learning objective. Fine. So you will just do this entire course. So it's just an advice. Okay. Now, tools can be used to create a connected learning experiences. The one is the translator. So as I have already shown that this translator tool, it's available in the OneNote, which I have already shown to you. Correct. One is this. This translator is again available in the Microsoft Teams, that if you have opened like, the Microsoft Teams here. Fine. So you can translate this paragraph into any other language. This translate feature is available in the Word as well. So if you want to translate, you can easily translate it. Correct. So if you want to find, there are some editor suggestions, will come to this, no worries. So being cross-cultural perspective with Microsoft Translator Application. Fine. So these all are the tools which I have just shown to you. But there is a translator application. It's also available. And how come this translator, helps? I'll just show you in a minute. Let's say the school is conducting a PTM, that is parent teachers meeting, and some of the parents are comfortable in Hindi, some of the parents are comfortable in their own regional language. Correct. So, but when the teacher is explaining something, or if that teacher, or maybe like, it's showing a kind of presentation, and if she's explaining something and they want like just to be opened in their own regional language that parents wants to see, so that they can refer and they can understand easily, so for that they can use the translator app. And the best part is translator app is also available on your mobile. Correct. So let's say if I'm going to open the translator app, let's say from here. So one is this, correct? And the second is you can just open the translator app from the mobile as well. So you have this particular feature here. Fine. So Cortana, it's already integrated. You can use that feature like, hello, how are you? Think feature. So these all are the further. You may cross this button, right? So if you want to translate like from English to Hindi, that is also possible. Like if I write hello, how are you? Correct. So if you click on this translate, so it will translate this particular English. Okay, so if instead of hello, if I click on this, okay, so maybe I need to just on it again. So we can just take the image also. We can open an image or a copy and then paste the image here. Correct. We can take any other language like the English I have chosen, or maybe you have translated to into any other language. Find the second language, you can also do that. And if you want to open this translator app, like let's say it's there in the history, if you want to open it, like what you translated earlier. So I just translated like how are you, and after that it just translated into this particular Hindi language as well, like tum kaise ho. Okay, similarly, you can just get the whole history, the conversation here. Now, what do you mean by conversation? So the example which I have given to you, that is the PTM. So the parents, they may open the application on their mobile, and in that mobile, they have this app, we call it as a translate. So they can open this translate app on their mobile as well. So it will look like this, if you see here. Okay, and first is enter the conversation code. So let's say you are the host. So you can click on this start conversation. Let's say I am English teacher here and my language is English, and I can click on enter here. Okay, so it will provide the code to me. Fine, that code you need to share with the parents, or you can also share this QR code. You can just tell them just to scan this, and right now it is showing that you are the only one here. So I'll just share this code with the parents. I'll just open this particular application here, and what I'll do, I'll click on this, and here I need to enter the code. So the code here is in front of me, that is J, capital Z, everything is in capital, so JZEHT. Okay, and then click on join. Right now here, let's say your name, the kids or your ward's name, parent's name is like, or maybe he's writing parent of Prisha, so that teacher will also be able to recognize that yes, the parent of Prisha has joined, and his regional language is like Hindi. So he can just click on enter. Okay, so joining the conversation. So in a minute, so what you see, it will also show here that yes, now two participants are there. One is the English teacher and another one is a parent of Prisha. Okay, they have joined. Now, if you just press and hold, if you, few of the they can use the mic here if they want to speak, or maybe they can also write somehow here as well. And if I click on Next, so what you see that it will basically, or maybe on the mobile itself, it will, or maybe that parent will get the message in Hindi. So you see that you have written in English, that is how are you, and that parent has particularly received the message in Hindi or maybe in his regional language. So similarly, if you want to set any other language, other parents they want to set other language, then it's quite maybe you can also try on your mobile. If you just use this application translate.it, fine. So there is a URL also. You can use that. The URL is translate dot it. So you can just use that particular URL, or maybe on your mobile you can install this translator app and then you can use it, and you can use this particular code. So whatever we will type it here, it will be translated into that particular language. Isn't it easy? Like for everyone now, just to understand very quickly whatever you are typing and it gets translated into the their current or their regional language, so that they can also easily understand and nobody will feel complex, because somehow some student or their parents they feel shy that obviously they would not be able to ask or raise their query. Why? Because they would not be able to, first they have not understood whatever actually the teacher is explaining to them, and next is might be they are not able to correlate, and that's why they would not be able to ask the question. So that's why. So now, like for the educator or for all of us, each and every student is important, each and every parent is important. So that is why we need to just make them comfortable. Don't worry. And they would be able to get and receive the messages in their own language. Just be comfortable, understand what exactly the teacher is telling to them, and accordingly they may raise their queries. So there is a keyboard, they can, I mean, even use this mic button. Fine. So Anonymous has joined. Wow. So one participant has already joined in. Very nice. Good to see. So this way, like some other participants, they can also join similarly. Correct. So it's a good tool. You can I mean, Anonymous, like Gurpreet has also joined. Wow, perfect. So I mean, the participants are joining in, and yes, this way you can use this app. And believe me, in most of these schools they have already implemented this, and it makes the life easy for, you can say, when it comes to the communication. That you want to communicate with parents or with the students, fine, in their own or regional languages, so you can easily do that. Gurpreet says keep it up. Thank you. So this way you can probably use this feature. Next is your here it is showing as well. One is in the translator, like Anonymous, Gurpreet, Rohit Gupta, Ushma, they all have joined. Very nice. Keep it up. Great, perfect. So next is your Flipgrid. So translator, as you have seen, it will help um, just to bring cross cultural perspectives with Microsoft Translator application. Second is Flipgrid. Now few students, they are not comfortable then and there just to present themselves. Let's say, because when I was a the student, even I was not confident enough just to present myself, or maybe I do not want to present the whole speech or maybe the whole presentation. So in that case I used to feel shy. So nowadays obviously a number of applications available. Fine. So what you can do, you can just provide them the platform, the Flipgrid platform. So what I'll do, I'll just open this Flipgrid also. So you can just open the browser here and you can type Flipgrid here for the educator login. You can just log in and like educator login here. You can log in with the Microsoft account. Maybe you have the M365 account, or maybe you have Hotmail or like Outlook account. So you can just open it, or maybe you can open the Flipgrid login. Yeah, this is info, sorry, flipgrid.com. Fine. So if you are the educator and you have already provided a code to the students. So those students, they can join it directly by just entering the code, right? But let's say if you have the ID with you, so you can just click on this login option or the sign in. You can also sign up also. You need to just provide few details. And after that, you can sign in with the Microsoft ID. Let me just sign in with my Microsoft ID. Let's say I'm going to sign in with my Hotmail here. Okay, hotmail.com, press enter. And I'm going to enter the password here that I'm not going to disclose. Yeah. Okay, so click on stay here. I'm in the signed in. Yes, so what you see here, oh, I have already created a number of the name the 8 topics here, the 5 groups that I have created. One is a biology group, the IT computer group, SDG goals group, Microsoft club, and the SWAY. Correct. So this way you can also create a group here, and within that group you have several topics in it. Like in the biology group, we have 2 topics I have created. For the IT computer, I have created 1 topic for SDG goal, 1 topic for the okay. And if you want to delete or somehow you can maybe like if it is active, if you want to hide any of the group, you can easily do that. You can create a new group from here. Correct. You can just enter into any of the group. Right now there is 1 member. If you want to add further more members or maybe your whole class, you can easily do that. If you are creating a new topic here, just click on new topic, and let's say my topic is now photosynthesis. Okay, and you can just ask a question to start your discussion. Fine. Now what the student will feel. So obviously that you have created or you have just provided a question there in the Flipgrid, and now based on the recording, I mean the video recording, they can just do the video recording maybe at home. Fine. And comfortably, like students can do it. And after that, they can just upload it. Means how much time that you want to give to the students for recording, right? So recording time is 1 minute 30 second. And the topic media is, let's say, the import image, or maybe they can record the video. Fine. So some of the reactions like emojis, GIF, stickers. Fine, you can upload your video as well if it's there maybe into any other drive, and then you can further add few attachments and then click on post. So what do you mean by what do you mean by photo synthesis? Okay, you can just ask this question and then click on post. So you have given the recording time for 1 minute 30 second. You can give it for even 15 seconds also. So within 15 seconds, they need to explain what you mean by photosynthesis. Correct. And then click on post. So it will be posted. Okay. Now this is the code. It has generated this code. Correct. Now this code you need to share with your student. They can join this particular, or maybe you can also join now because you have already, like some of you are already interacting. So good to see. So you can just open this flipgrid.com and just enter this code so that after that you can give your responses, and it will be here, and then it will be circulated with other students as well, or the members of this particular group, right? And they can give their or responses, they can give the comments, right? So this way you can probably use the Flipgrid. So probably now I think it is clear what do you mean by Flipgrid here. It is simple, free video discussions to make learning fun, fulfilling, and empowering. Okay. So you can just join, copy this code, and you can use this code basically maybe later on also. So probably I will be happy to see all the responses from you all. Okay, so there is one more tool we have that we call it as a Wacklet. So this content curation tool directs learners to a single digital space to view and interact. Fine, with multimodal content. So this is basically a digital space where you can keep all your resources, and by just providing the link to any to all the students, like being an educator. So obviously you need to keep all your resources, all your content at one particular location. centralized location, and you need to just provide them a link to them, to all the students, so that they can access then and there. So Wacklet is also available. The forms, so most of us, we are already using a forms here. Bridge content and assessment for learners with Microsoft Form. So the best part is the Microsoft Forms, where is a different quiz that you can create, surveys, polls, or maybe like you can also create a descriptive type of questions also you can provide it. And the best part is this forms can be integrated within the Teams itself, the Microsoft Teams. We can easily do that. So I'll just show you even these features as within the Teams. Like if you want to embed the Microsoft Forms, here we have the insert. You can just use this forms for OneNote. You can just sign in with that ID, and then you can add different forms here. So let's say the computer quiz. I just want to insert it. Click on insert. The form link as well as the particular quiz, it gets inserted. Just press enter. So they may refer to this link so that they can, I mean, the duration is closed. So you can just create a form, and then they can, I mean, the students can attempt, or maybe it will redirect to that particular form. Okay. Next is your Teams chat. So through Teams chat, learners stay connected to peers inside and outside the classroom. That we all know. So the immersive reader, it's again like, available even in the chat itself. Let's say the math or maybe the science. So please be ready for. So for those students, those who would not be able to obviously view it, the message, they can use the feature of like the immersive reader as well. So here we have the feature. Okay, you can just do that. New conversation. Hello, everyone. Just press enter. So it will be posted in a minute. Excuse me. Okay, so immersive reader can be used in the Microsoft Teams as well. So it's been added here. You can just use the immersive reader by clicking on these three dots. Now we'll see the second pillar, the reading we have almost done. Inclusive writing. Okay, now when it comes to the writing part, so I think you can also see here what type of writing, I mean, or maybe, but I have already shown the example there in the OneNote. Fine. But if you see that a few students, they have written in this particular handwriting, beginning it was like this, and they have just ended with this clean cup of water. Similarly, this one. Just once again. So this child was able to write this entirely independently, removing the embarrassment of having an adult looking over his shoulder. So he could type, and first, like if you see here in the second slide, this way, so he could type and then use the immersive reader also to read it back to himself. So he can judge himself, he can check himself as well. Even he can type, and then he can use the immersive reader to read it back also. And if he chose the wrong word from the spell check menu, he would also realize his mistake when he had it read back to him again. Fine. So that is why OneNote also, like, made the work quicker in terms of, or for those students, those who would not be able to write, like, in a proper way or in a proper manner. So then they can use this feature so that they can completely or independently, they can write the note or the paragraph. Okay. Now, if you just see here, the next is your seventh grader, like, before and after with dictate feature. So earlier when he was not using the dictate feature, he used to write, like this. And obviously no student, no teacher can, understand what exactly that student is trying to say and trying to write. So that is why when the teacher has told that you can use the dictate feature, then probably he tried, and after that, yes, now everybody can understand his thoughts, or maybe like, the ideas, what he exactly wants to say. So that's why this is a proper assignment. Now he can submit back to the teacher. So there is a dictate feature that he can use, the student can use in the classroom. Okay. Now, there is a good feature, improved spell checker, inclusive design to benefit everyone. So obviously, one is the feature that we have. It's there in the Windows 10 or the Windows 11, because now we have the upgraded or the updated version of the operating system. So earlier we were using the Windows 10, but now most of us, I think, have upgraded to Windows 11 as well. So these two features are available in the Windows 10 and the 11 that we call it as a prediction. Okay, so let's say if you are writing anything, maybe like, the in principle. So obviously it is giving you the few spelling suggestions. Fine. So then you can read it, as well as it also gives you the read aloud feature. Correct. So both are available there in the Word, right? So if you see here, when I was writing something, so it is just giving me the prediction. Like if I say principal, so it gives me, sorry, principal. So it gives me like all the suggestions here, like principal, principles, principles of, fine. So this way, and you can also use the editor as well. So which will calculate the entire page first, or maybe the like, the words that you have provided. So it will give you all these spellings, corrections, grammar, refinements, fine, each and everything it will give you in an exact manner. So how you can enable this feature, which I have enabled here, fine. So you see here all these related words. So you can just do it or enable it by going to this setting app. Okay, and here you can search for prediction. So it will just show you this option, show text suggestions as I type on the hardware, my keyboard. So when you type, you need to enable this, show text suggestions when typing on the physical keyboard. And it's not available in some languages, correct? But most of the languages it is available. So you can just enable it so that it will give you all the predictions when you type. Correct. So you can use these two. One is the editor and the another one is the prediction. So prediction is the feature of Windows 10 or the Windows 11 operating system. Okay. So one is this that we have seen here. Fine. Now, create an independent learning experience. So it is the ability to engage in learning task without assistance from another person. Now, independent learning skills often go beyond academic subjects as well. So there are furthermore applications we have, like we called it as a Microsoft Lens. So students receive materials in a wide variety of formats, from paper copies to workbooks, or workbooks to digital content, as well as the Windows 11 with accessibility at the forefront. Like, and Windows 11 is the most accessible version yet. Built-in tools create an experience learners can personalize to their exacting need to independently access their learning and the accessibility. So I'll just show you like you have or maybe you may install this Microsoft Lens on your on your PC, or maybe like here itself if you want. I've already installed this Lens, so you can use this Office Lens. Yeah, here we have this feature. I mean this tool or the application, that is the Lens. You can open this Lens on your mobile itself. Okay, so what you see here, you can just capture all the documents. So there are basically different documents. You can place the document and you can capture it fine easily by just pressing this particular button. Fine. As well as if you just talk about, there is a whiteboard as well in the Office Lens as well, because nowadays is also important for the educators just to use this. Correct. So similarly, like the document or the action, if you are going to capture the text to extract, let's say a few students, they are not able to, I mean they are not good in or like typing as well, so they can just write it maybe on a sheet of paper, or somehow maybe there is a table, there is particular like a read. So in that case you can particularly use this feature here, like you can perform it, and then you can capture it. Okay, the text as well. Similarly, the contact, the QR code, you can use it even for the business card. If you want to capture a business card here, if you want to capture a photo, fine. So that is also there. So all these options are there in the, let's say I click on this capture document. So it's just going to capture it. Once you have captured, after that you can adjust the borders after each scan. Once you have adjusted like all the borders, you need to click on confirm. Fine. And after that, if you want to share, let's say like you want to add further more pages, you want to crop, you want to add ink also, maybe you want to write something, you want to add a text. Correct. So that is also possible. You can do that and click on done. The moment when you click on the done, obviously you can just give a title to it, and then probably you can save it into the gallery or maybe the PDF OneDrive. Fine. So in your OneDrive, so that easily students can capture the documents or maybe the text that they have written on a sheet of paper. Maybe there is a table also they want to scan and they want to upload and want to share with the educators, so that educators can understand. Okay, and maybe they want to share or save it there in the PowerPoint, then click on save button. Correct. So this is how like you can use the Microsoft Lens. Okay, maybe on your desktop or on your mobile, and then click on save. So let me just save it in the gallery here. You can select the gallery and click on save. It's saving. Now you see I have already saved most of the documents here in this my files. So you can use the Office Lens at a larger scale. On a larger scale. Fine. So Windows 11. In Windows 11 or maybe 10, if you just open these settings again, that I have already opened it, here you have the accessibility like for vision. So these all are available, like the text size, visual effect, mouse pointer, text cursor, magnifier. Fine, which will magnifier for reading, or zoom for zoom in and zoom out. You can use it. Color filter. There are shortcut keys are also available if you want to use the shortcut keys, and what all features that you want to apply, you can easily do that. There is a contrast theme as well, the narrator. For the hearing, like there are two further options like audio and the captions. For interaction, which we have already seen, like speech, the speech recognition, voice typing, the keyboard. For sticky filter and toggle keys, the mouse keys, and the eye control. Okay, so if I go back here, the accessibility in previous version of the Windows, the ease of access we used to call it, right? Ease of access center was the go-to place for personalizing. But now in Windows 11, we call it as a accessibility. So this is just an update for you all, because earlier we used to find all the features where in this ease of access center, but here ease of access center, but here now we are finding it in the Windows 11 as accessibility. Okay. Now next is your new announcements. Like obviously the dictation in Office that we have already seen, and it's there in the PowerPoint also. Like PowerPoint online getting dictation, that we are using it. Okay. And similarly, if we just talk about the editor in Office, like next generation spell checking, grammar checking, clarity, which I have just shown to you. Fine. So that's there in the Word also and the PPT. Okay. And the Windows 10 built-in word prediction, which I have shown. It is there in the Windows 11 also, obviously, because in the updated or upgraded version, we have this built-in word prediction, the way that we have there in our mobile. So similarly, we can toggle it on when we write on our, like maybe in Word or maybe in any other application. Okay. So I'll just take few questions that you have asked. So in a minute, no worries. So math challenges for students as well. Okay, dyslexia, reading story problem, visual crowding, fine, and the focus and attention, or the mobility impairments, fine. So again, if we talk about the, let me just show you the math one here. So if you just talk about like, the in the Teams, which I have just opened it, and here the OneNote notebook, which I have just added. Okay, you go to this view. Here also you see that we have the accessibility checker, fine. So that is also possible. And here you see that we have this math feature. So if you have just written any of the equation here, let's say I have written here maybe x square plus y square is 20. Okay, so what you can do, you need to first select this. Okay, this equation that you have written. Maybe I can use another page for that, or I can delete this. Yeah, so I can select this. Now you can click or you can open the math. So it has just recognized x as a 7c square. You can write it again, no worries. And then when you click on it, it will ask for what you want to do, whether you want to solve for C or solve for Y or graph in 2D. So you can select, let's say I just want to solve for C. Okay, so it will give you the explanation. It will also show you the steps as well. Fine. Maybe steps by finding square root or steps using the quadratic formula. So that is the best part. And based on that, it will also give you some of the generate practice quiz. So when you click on it, it will generate a practice quiz for the student as well. So this is again a good, the stuff we have, or we can use this feature like math. Okay, so I hope these many tools are clear to you, that how effectively we can use it. Then for the inclusive communication. Okay, so build communication skills with presenter coach in PowerPoint. So presenting in front of other, again, it's a vital, life skill that teachers are eager to cultivate in their student. When we say to the student that, yes, you have to present this maybe like, tomorrow, or maybe you have a competition, or maybe you need to just, read the entire paragraph. Okay, so then students, they may feel shy, obviously, or maybe they are having some challenges, or maybe they want some or they need some, proper attention in that. So in that case, who will help? So maybe they feel shy just to go to their parents, or maybe to go back to their educators, but they want to learn, or they want to be they want to do the practice, maybe like, as alone. So how they can do independently? So that is again important, just to understand or to make them clear that there are different tools available. So one of the tool, we call it as a presenter coach. Fine. So based on best practices and academic research, we have integrated common tips and tricks into presenter coach to help teachers and students give more effective presentations. Correct. So how to do that? I'll just show you here again in a moment. I'll go back. Instead of Word, this time I'm going to open the PowerPoint. Let's say I have opened the PowerPoint, a blank window, and I am going to create, let's say, a slide here, photosynthesis. So you will get all the related designer images, okay, or the design ideas. I can select this one. Now I can add a new slide here. And here, let me, if you want, you can use the dictate feature, because I've already told you a number of tools. Fine. With the use of these tools, effectively, you can add the context, right? So if I say, what do you mean by photosynthesis? It's a process by which plants make their own food in presence of sunlight. And I need to just switch it off. Okay, so it's there. Now, here I can write, what do you mean by photosynthesis? This is one. Now, after this, let's say I want to, or I need to present it maybe in front of class. So I'm going to add here, let's say, thank you. Okay, it's all done. Okay, so now student wants to practice. So how the students will, do the practice. So first of all, he'll just click on this arrow key, which is there at the top right corner, right? You have the option of rehearse with coach, correct? So one is like student can do the practice on its own. So first is what you see, the welcome to PowerPoint present coach preview window, which will get open. It will just click on start rehearsing. So let's say start with the photosynthesis. And here, let's say I'm just using a number of fillers. I'll click on the next. I'll say, or maybe I'll just take a little pause here. Or maybe I'm just reading the entire slides here. Okay, so you see here that it is just giving me a feedback. Please do not use too many fillers, like, and then obviously if I do the slide reading, like, what do you mean by photosynthesis? Because I already told you a number of tools. Find with the use of these tools. Effectively, what it says, try to avoid reading the slides. It is again giving me the feedback that I need not to read, as it is. So that is again a best part. And here also I'm using this filler, that is, so I also need to avoid this. So once you are done with your presentation, at the last, you will be able to see the entire report. So this is like your rehearsal report. It's a preview where it shows like your summary. Good job rehearsing. Keep up the hard work. Okay. And how many slides you have rehearsed? How was your pace, your fillers, average pace over time, repetitive language, right? Nice work. And pronunciation, good job. Your pronunciation sounded clear. Inclusiveness, like great job. Your use of inclusive language was excellent. And the pitch. So how was your pitch? Like low pitch variation will make your audience lose interest. So obviously we need to take care of our pitch at the time of teaching. So these all are the points that you can brief them You can tell to the students they can do a number of practice, before presenting in front of the class. Right, so presenter coach will be available on PowerPoint on the web. So obviously, because the AI is also involved, the artificial intelligence, and that is why we require internet also for that. So this particularly be available, or it's available over the web, not on like the offline application or the PowerPoint that you have installed. Okay. Now, yeah, this is just one of the example, like one of the student wants to explain about this early solar system exploration. So he has just opened the presenter coach feature. So he's listening as well as it is also giving you the feedback. Okay. So here also it is giving a feedback that speak a little faster if you are too slow. That also matters a lot, correct? And at last, here it gives you or provides you the rehearsal report. Okay, so PowerPoint captions, desktop online. So you can also enable the captions as well if they are not able to listen, like those who are having the hearing problem. So obviously they can view the captions like the PowerPoint live captions. You can also enable it. You can just see here. Okay, so whatever she is speaking, if you are not able to hear it, but at least you can go through these captions. Okay, and how you can enable it during the meeting when you are presenting something, just click on these three dots and you can open the option as turn on the live captions. Okay. Now, preparing the students for their future. So there is a Microsoft disability answer decks, right? So if you want, you can share this story. We'll also share this link with you all. And if you just click on it, disability answer desk, it's also open. You will get the support from the disability answer desk. Okay, and where the customer with the disabilities get support with Microsoft Office, Windows and Xbox. Accessibility tips like, all the help and learning center, Teams accessibility if you're looking for, or maybe if you're looking for Windows accessibility like Office Accessibility Center. Fine. Microsoft accessibility on YouTube or make things easier to see, creating accessible content or Microsoft keyboard shortcuts, right? There are a few other additional accessibility resources which I have just shown in the Windows 11. Learning webinar series are also available. Fine. They may sign up for upcoming, all the webinars conducted by the Microsoft itself. Few webinar recordings are also available. Correct. So that you can just go through all these and you can share with the students. You can, or students can also install this app, a free app that connects blind and low vision people with volunteers for visual assistance through a live video call. Correct. You can chat with them. You can call, or maybe the ASL support by video phone. So it's like, disability answer decks. These links or the resources are available. You can just share and you can tell them to install the Be My Eyes application on their mobile, and for the low vision person request assistant and sighted volunteer receives a video call this way. So this link also I will just share.
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to.
That's where you come in. Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Caroline. Is it for a present? Yes, it's a photo from my parents.
You can help just by installing the Be My Eyes app, and we'll notify you when someone needs your help. And if you're in the middle of something, don't worry. Someone else will step in. So, would you care to be my eyes?
Yeah, so this tool is available. Even I have already briefed you about the dyslexia awareness courses, this app as well, and a few of the additional disability tips and everything. So we will be sharing all these links with you, no worries. Okay, and the next is your Microsoft Translator in the classroom. I've already shown a good example, like when there is a multilingual class itself, fine. So how, even if you have different, like, sort of students, those who are comfortable in, like, just to understand the Chinese or Korean or Spanish or maybe any other language, because nowadays the students like are from different countries, isn't it? So that's why we can probably use this translator app. Okay, and I've just shown this example to you. Fine. So what it says, 10 speech, like, for the Microsoft Translator, smartphone apps for in-person, multi-device translation for 2 or more participants, speech or text, 10 speech languages and 63 text languages. Okay, and up to 100 participants at the same time they can join. Amazing. Correct. And free app, it is a free app also on all the platforms like iOS, Android, Windows, UWP, and the PowerPoint and the web. Correct. Now we've already seen Translate.id, and yes, how you can promote and cultivate learner organization. Now, organization may be a challenge for learners across age groups. Though today's learners are perceived as digital natives, they still require intentionally designed digital learning spaces to support organization and consistency. Yeah, so leverage the following Microsoft tools to promote organization for learners, because obviously for the educators or maybe for like, the staff team members or maybe other team of the organization, they want to connect with each other, they want to plan, they want to like, prepare an agenda. So anything they want to do it maybe independently. So how they can do and what all tools available. The first is the Microsoft Teams, the way that we are using, and where we have a staff, because when we create it would be better that in a Microsoft team, when I click on creating a team, when you create a team, you can use this staff, or you can just create a PLC in that case. Correct. So this is the one thing. OneNote, like with the digital notebook, OneNote learners assess notes and academic edit, as I was shown to you, that if this is a OneNote, if you see here, I have already created n number of notebooks here. Okay, so accordingly, like there is a financial accounts notebook for the account person, you can do that. There's a FSD full stack, or maybe the Edureka, or maybe training financial year. So these all are the notebooks that we have created. So similarly, if you have created, and it's basically, quite easy to share with everyone. Like, and within the organization, all your students or maybe with whom you have shared, they can use it. And the planner. Educators and learners, they create personalized list with concrete action steps with planner. Like if you want to assign a task to someone, or maybe how you can use it. So you can within the teams itself, if you want, you can use it as well. I don't know, but just yeah. So you have a planner from here. You can just add it task by planner and to do. So you can just stay organized across all your teams and individual tasks. You can just add it here, and then like, what your to do task here, it will be displaying. So you can just create a list and your task, like if your task like today you have to, I mean, complete notes of chapter 1, correct? Similarly, you can add another task to it, and what's the priority, like, of that particular thing. So if it is very important, so you can mark it as important, okay? And when it is due, so when you have to complete it, that is also very important. So due date is most probably I need to complete it by 24th, let's say by Monday, you can save it. So you will get reminders, okay? Once the task is done or you have completed, you can mark it as done or maybe completed. Fine, because once you will mark it as completed, it will disappear from your task list. This is, I mean, quite easy to use first of all, and it also make your work easy. And basically through this you will also be like remain connected with other team members, and if you want to assign the tasks to other team members, fine, so that is also possible. uh, let's say this task you want to assign like to someone else, you can move it, or maybe like assign to me. So no one has assigned any of the tasks to me, so that is also there. And if you want to use a planned, so add a task, fine. So these all are the planned one. If you want to create a new list or a plan, fine, create in where, for which class, let's say for class 6th. And this is basically notes that you are creating, and in which channel you want to circulate, maybe in the general channel, click on create, fine. So the new list or a plan, it will be created in that particular class or maybe in that channel. So shared plans, the class 6th notes general. So what are the tasks that the class 6 needs to fulfill or I mean complete, so you can define it here. So believe me, task by planner and to do, it will make your work easy and it will not be a burden, you can say, on your head or on your shoulder, that you need to remember every time. No, but when the things are there, already there, you can just create a list, file, note it down, everything, just set a reminder so that it will give you the notification and you will not miss any of the, because students can also put an alarm or maybe a notification that they have a unit test maybe like from Monday onwards, and what like the syllabus that it's coming. So for these type of students, those who are not able to use, or maybe they are not able to see everything, so obviously they can use this particular feature or implement this feature by the task, by the planner, where they will get the notification or the reminders, a kind of sim, and then they can use the immersive reader so that it will read aloud for the students. Fine. So for inclusiveness, you can say you can use this particular uh, like tool as well, that is a task by planner and to do, fine, to promote the organization for learners. So as I said, that listen cognitive load. So cognitive load is the mental effort exerted to complete a task. So do not keep everything in your memory. Obviously, nobody can retain it like, for a longer period. So anyhow, for the long-term memory and everything, so kindly be prepared or be ready with all the notes or with agenda, fine, and you can use all these digital tools and remain connected with all these tools. No longer maybe you are no like that is, maybe you are using the laptop or desktop, or maybe you're using mobile or a tablet, fine. So no matter which device you are using, no matter which kind of platform you are using, fine, but you can use these Microsoft tools, okay. So Microsoft tools to reduce cognitive load by OneNote, which I have already shown to you. The focus mode, reduce the distractions from extraneous like notification with focus mode. Speech to text, writing tasks are complex or and involve the intersection of critical thinking skills. Okay, so some of the inclusive apps. Let's a quick recap that we have done so far. Microsoft Lens, Windows 11. Okay, the accessibility features. Accessibility, like earlier we used to call it as ease of access, but now we call it as a accessibility. They are in the Windows 11. So Office Lens that we have seen, a real example which I have shown. Okay. So monitor learner progress with comprehensive data, because nowadays, again, it is also very important just to get the data first, fetch the data, and after that we need to do a evaluation. Okay, so how to do that? Just to understand, or maybe like, the truly inclusive learning environment is responsive to all learners' academic and emotional needs. Now, effective data collection and evaluation are integral elements to designing and refining a responsive learning environment. Fine. So the data we have, but how we will get the exact picture of, like, all the students, or maybe how we can track the activities, how we can fetch the progress report, right? That is also very important, just to monitor time to time. So how they are learning, whether they are slow learners or they are fast learners, right? So for that, what type of tools available? The one is Insights. Okay, provides educator and school leaders with clear and meaningful intelligence regarding student academic progress. Like in the Microsoft Teams itself, if you have a team here, maybe let's say class 8, okay, and here when you click on this plus button, so you can just add a insight like from here as well, or now it's there on the left hand side, you have this insight feature. Okay, so you can use it. It will just give you the detailed report student by student also. Fine. And the chatting, or the how much time that, how many times, like, they have accessed, or some are very slow learners, so basically what's their feedback, or somehow, like, it will also show you like two students were inactive last week, or maybe great news, like all your students were active in January month. Correct. They reflect also, identify the support needs and build sales skills as well, social emotional learning skills here. So by some emojis or somehow you can use this reflect check-in also. Find the student activity, like inactive student, and the status, missed submission. Fine. You can check the assignment status as well, or the reading progress. So reading progress is again one of the good activity, like you are, let's say you have given an activity to all the student that you need to first read the entire chapter, and then, or maybe before coming to the class, first you need to read the entire chapter, because generally what student says, ma'am, I've already read it. Okay, but even though, how you will come to know whether the student, or that student has read the entire chapter or the whole chapter or not? Or even though if he has read, so like, how many, or maybe the, like, what was the pronunciation that he used, or how many words that he skipped, where he was wrong. So if you just want to track the activity or the reading progress activity, so that is again a good option we have. You can click on the assignment, and from here the assignment, when you click on attach, you can just attach the reading progress. From here you can import a PDF or a Word file, or you can browse the sample library here. Let's say I'm just going to add this one, click on select. Okay, now this is how you can just check the reading level here. I mean, you can set the number of attempts for the student, that you are giving only 2 attempts to the students. Fine. Time limit, pronunciation sensitivity. Do you require the video also? Obviously, yes, whether that student has read or not, so that he can upload. When you click on the student view, so you can just allow here, and microphone, it will start, the student will start reading, and it will record, so that later on student will upload and teacher will check that particular progress report. Okay, so this is quite interesting, just to use this particular feature that we called it as a reading progress, so that you can track whether student has read the entire chapter or not, and how he has read that. Okay. Yep, so insights I've shown to you, Reflect app, it's there, like forms and the reading progress. So with all these Microsoft tools for, I mean, in terms of data, for data informed decision making, even grades also. Yeah, so that you will also get that. Windows 10 accessibility that we have seen, like one is a vision, make your device easier to see or use without a screen. Second is hearing, make your, because here if you have the narrator here, so obviously make your device easier to see or use without a even screen also, because narrator will tell you where exactly you are. Hearing, make your device easier to hear or use without sound as well. Physical, make your device easier to use of you have limited reach or strength. And then the cognition, make it easier to focus on get things done with Windows. Correct. Accessibility in action. So we can see with the ease of access, like the color filter, magnifier, narrator, eye control, it's all there. You can just go through one by one. You will come to know. In the edge that I've already shown to you, there is a read aloud feature. Fine. And even though when you have just opened a chapter 1, here again you have some free grammar tools for reading and comprehension. You can also add it. Okay. Seeing AI, like talking camera app for blind community. So you can install this particular app like HTTP from this link, seeingai.com. Fine. So that is again a very good app for the blind. Okay. And yes, all these Microsoft tools, you can use it on any of the platform, as I said, on any of the device, whether you are using a tablet or maybe a mobile. So if you see the interface, it's quite simple, and the GUI, the graphical user interface, it's quite easy to understand it. It's same in most of all, or like across all the devices. Right? So better together with OneNote with the Wakelet as well, as I said. So please try to use the Flipgrid and the Wakelet as well. So building a foundation for future success. So from here we started, right? So at the end, just a quick recap here. So inclusive education tools give more students personalized access to their curriculum, optimize teacher time, and improve learning outcomes. Yeah, so Microsoft accessibility and assistive technologies for educations that we have learned. Now it's time for redeeming the code, which I am going to share with you so that you can redeem it and you will get the certificate also for the same. So I will be telling you the process and how to redeem it, and do not worry, each and every participant will be receiving an email from our end, so that what all the steps, if you have missed maybe any of these step, fine. So later on also after the session, please, you may follow all these steps like, you know, in that particular document which we will be providing to you. So just follow all these steps and then you will get your certificate. Okay, so give one, get one. And yes, these all are the links. MSFT Enable and Disability Answer Desk, we will be providing to you as well, all these links. And this is the code, but how to redeem it, let me explain you. I'm explaining you very slowly so that you can easily do that. So first, what you need to do, you need to just enter this URL, that is education.microsoft.com. Fine, on the browser itself, just enter this URL. And after that, on the top right corner, you will find a option here that is sign in. Okay, so those who all are having the M365 ID, I mean Office 365 ID, they can sign in with that ID. But if some of them, they are not having and they are accessing with their personal accounts like Hotmail account or Outlook account, so with that also you can sign in. Okay, so how to sign in? Click on sign in option. Then you need to click on account here, use another account. So I'm going to sign in with my ID here. Okay, and then press enter. Now I'm going to enter the password. Correct. So once you will sign in with your ID here in that education center. Okay, then you see in your profile or some redeem achievement code and the sign out. These three options you would be able to see when you click on this particular icon. Okay, and here if I click on my profile, I would be able to see all my certificates, badges, courses that I have completed. Correct. So similarly, you will also get the same, but how? Fine. So there are two things. One is that you have attended the online session, the online webinar, the live webinar. That is why we are providing you a code and you are going to redeem it so that you will get the certificate. But if you want to do it on your own, so from the same URL education.microsoft.com, you can click on this and you can do a number of courses, and there are different learning paths are also available. So after completing any of the course that you have selected or you have chosen, then you will get the certificate of that. Okay, after attempting the quiz, because there is a quiz also. Here I am not conducting any quiz, but you are still getting the certificate. But yes, here few of the courses are quiz related. So once you will complete the training or the modules, then after that you have to attempt one quiz, the online quiz. And if you score like 80% and above, you will get the certificate. Correct. So what we need to do here, we can just click on this icon. Either I can select it directly from here, that is redeem achievement code, or you can go to your my profile and from here also you have the option of redeem code. You can just select this redeem code, and the code which I am going to share with you all is this T-ND B8C6C22. So this code you need to copy and you need to use it. So let me also copy and then paste it in the chat window for you all. So do not worry. We will even though like in current or maybe right now if you're not able to do that, so later on also you can connect with us and we'll help you out, and we will also be sending an email regarding this with all the steps how you can redeem the code. Okay, so you may please provide your valuable feedback with us. Okay, so that obviously, because if your feedback also matters a lot. And yeah, we have you can just email us on this mail ID, that is info@cyberaddictiontechnology.com, or you may message or WhatsApp, whatever. So on this particular number, so you can just reach out to us as well. So let me just take up few questions here. So most of the users, they are asking, ma'am, please can you share this PPT with us if possible? Yeah, sure. There is no harm in sharing any of the resources. So what we will be doing? We will be sharing the code, the feedback link, as well as we will also be sharing the PPT link also, so that you can access this PPT. Yeah, because here in this PPT, we have mentioned all the tools like in keeping consideration, or you can say that different sort of or different types of problems or the challenges that students may face. Okay. Madhu says it is really helpful. Thank you, ma'am. Can you send a record video? Yes, obviously we will be and it is very informative. Can please the demo of Flipgrid tools? Yeah, demo of the Flipgrid tools also it is there that I've already shown to you that you can just, I mean, it's easy to use. You need to just log in with the flipgrid.com and then probably you can sign in first with the Microsoft ID or maybe the Hotmail or the Outlook ID, and then after that you can create a group and then you can create certain topics in that. Okay. Somehow some are using the parents are also you having or need to create a Flipgrid account. No, it is not mandatory that they need to create, but yes, there is a join code. So code is basically you can share with the student. Just give me a second. Okay, so you can just join a code here, and which version of PowerPoint is being used. So see which version it is being used, like, you know, for the PowerPoint, it's basically over the web. If you have Office 365 or the M365 version, by default, it picks the latest version here. Okay, when you type this URL office.com, it will pick the latest version so that you can use it and you can sign it with the Microsoft account. If you do not have the Microsoft account, you can also log in with the Hotmail or maybe the personal account. So still you would be able to access most of the applications here. Correct? So that is freely available. So you can use it. So yeah, I know, Sudhamini, it's difficult to remember all when at one go. So we will provide you the recording and everything. Do not worry. So Rosalind says that thank you so much. It was really interesting and informative. Thank you so much. Okay. And so all the links are already being provided to you all. So these all are the important links, and yeah, mail ID also we have provided to you all. So in case if you have further any issue or maybe anything that you want to uh, like, you know, ask, or maybe you have any query, you may connect with us. No worries. Okay. We are always there to support. Okay, and this is the code which I have shared. Ankita will be pasting or typing this particular, you know, code in the chat window. So here you will get that, and we will also be sharing this particular achievement code as well as the feedback link with you all. Yeah, the code I have pasted, and probably I'll just give you the further instruction how you can redeem the code. One is that first you need to open the browser. Okay, the way I have opened it. Now here you need to enter the URL, that is education.microsoft.com. Okay, now in this, what you need to do, you have to click on sign in button. Now in this, what you need to do, you need to just sign in with your ID. Like I'm going to sign in with my ID here. Right? But in case if you do not have the in case if you do not have the particular ID with you all, so Ankita, if you just paste the link education.microsoft.com with all the users, please do that. Okay, and the code which I have displayed, you may also type that or paste the code once again, though I have already pasted. Correct. Now, if you do not have this particular ID, I mean the Office 365 ID, so what you can do, you can create a Outlook account also. How to do that? I will be showing here itself. You can click on create one. Fine. So first of all, if you do not have the account with you, you can click on create one. Okay. And here, let's say I'm just going to create a dummy ID. I'm not creating right now. So, but still I can give you the option here. Outlook.com. Okay. dummyid@outlook.com. Either you can select any one of the domain, outlook.com or hotmail.com. Okay. And let's say if I have selected here, then click on next. Correct. So if it says someone already has this email address, so what you can do, you can probably add some number to it, and then you can try next. Now you see that this ID is available, like dummy ID _123@outlook.com. Okay. Now create a password. So it is asking for, like, a password that you want to keep. Let's say I'm going to keep it as password @123. Okay. And I am going to, if you want, just to get the information, tips and offers from the Microsoft, you can click a tick mark. You can tick, otherwise you can untick. Okay. And then click on next. So let's say if I am going to this thing, click on next. Fine. So once you will provide the ID and the password, so it will ask, like, please solve the puzzle. So we know you are not a robot. So we can just solve the puzzle here. So pick a cat. Obviously, this is a cat. It's done. So means that your Outlook ID is created. You can set your date of birth as well as the country and region. Fine. So you need to provide all the relevant details to this. Let's say I'm going to provide this one, or maybe any other. Click on next. Fine. So you have selected this one, and please hit next to confirm, otherwise back to correct it. So then when you click on the next button, it means your Outlook ID, it gets created. Okay. Now, once you have created your ID, then you can sign in. So let's say I have created my ID as @hotmail.com and then press enter. So I need to open the link again. So once you have created, you need to enter this URL once again, or maybe you can sign in with the ID. Fine. Once you have signed in with education.microsoft.com, then after signing with the Outlook ID or Office 365 ID, fine, it will be showing all the particular, or you can say on the top right corner, you would be able to see your name here. Not exactly the complete or the display name, but yes, your name, like, the first two alphabets of your name starts with, like, Niti Divedi. So here it is showing as ND. Okay. Once you have signed in, after that, you need to click on that particular icon and just select the second option, that is redeem achievement code. Now, when you will select it, here you need to paste that code which I have provided, right? So this is the code which I have pasted here. Okay, T-ND. So my team member Ankita, she has already pasted that particular code there in the chat window. T-ND B8C6C22. Correct. And then you need to click on redeem. Now, once you will click on redeem button, after that you would be able to get that congratulations message. No worries, I will be able to show you here. Yeah, so you will get the congratulations message. Once you will receive that congratulations message, you need to close it, and after that you need to go back to that particular icon and you need to select the my profile. Correct. So when you click on your my profile, it will show you all the certificates of today's session. that one of the certificate you will also be receiving as certified Microsoft educator, innovative educator. You can click on view details and certificate here, and it will be showing you view certificate. After that, you can download the certificate on your PC. Okay, or maybe if you want, you can share on the social network itself that you are a Microsoft Innovative Educators. Apart from that, you will also be receiving few other certificates with this. Correct? Okay. So I hope this session was interesting or quite useful for you all. So once again, like the feedback link will also be sharing in this chat window here. So do not worry, we will be sharing this feedback link with you all. Just a minute. Though Ankita has already shared, but let me just share it one more time. Yeah, so we have shared the feedback link also with you all. So please do provide your valuable feedback, and in case you want to get in touch with us, so here you have this particular email ID, and you may also message to us. So thank you for the session that you have attended, and you have provided your valuable time. Okay, have a great day ahead. Bye bye.